this guy starts the episode by cleaning his screen. Holy
Sorry.
smokes, what's going on? Morning Track North gang, it's your boy, the Stuntman. And in case you didn't know, the Lazarbeam, who is back with a side gig, just rubbing windows.
Well, it was
I get
blurry,
it. I
man.
get it.
Like you're gonna leave it in there, man. Where that's how we're
I get
starting.
it.
So
That's how I'm
okay,
starting.
that's fine.
We're here. We are
That's fine.
back. We have to start out. I have to start out by saying that I am fired up for Blue Jays baseball. I know I'm going to catch flack because everyone's going to say, oh, but you're a Cardinals fan. And that's why I'm more excited for Blue Jays baseball this year than ever. Because being a fan of any other team, especially the Cardinals this year, is going to stink. So, welcome to episode 10 Blue Jays everything. All things Blue Jays today. We are breaking down some extensions. We are talking pitching. We are talking position players. We are talking some rapid fires, if you will, some bold takes, if you will. I want to shed light on a small story. And then maybe if you read the end of the rundown, you'll be interested in talking about or at least rating my fantasy baseball team. I don't know. Maybe you would not be interested in doing that, Lazarbeam.
Oh, were you talking to me?
This was
No,
no.
yeah, I can
That'd
do
be
that.
that'd be
I can do
awesome.
that.
No,
Sorry.
it's funny. So to preface that, I got asked to be in a fantasy baseball draft on Sunday night at 6 p.m. and I said, sure, why not? I've been jonesing to get into one. At 6:15, the lobby opens and my phone starts blowing up because of this group chat that I'm now in, and the chat was just roasting me because it was, new guy gets first overall pick. What the hell is this all about? And I went, oh, new guy got the first overall pick. So I hop in there, and of course, ESPN, being the legends that they are, they put Otani as designated hitter and pitcher together, same person. So obviously, you kind of have to run with that first pick. So that means everybody should be betting the under on everything that he's projected to do this year because I have officially cursed every single player that I picked in fantasy this year. So we'll get to that at the end of today's episode. But yeah, all things Blue Jays. We have lots to talk about. But I feel kind of rude because I've done all the talking and I haven't thrown it over to you at all. So what's going on? How you doing?
I'm okay, man. I mean, like, what is there to complain about except for the fact that it's still freezing cold outside? But hey, baseball's around the corner.
It
So
snowed again.
a glimmer of
It's
hope, I
it
guess.
snowed again in Sault Ste. Marie yesterday. So I can
It's
I
not
can keep
here.
complaining. I'm fed up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm gonna be at the game on Saturday, and it's supposed to
Man,
be 0 degrees.
that's awesome.
And I'm pre-gaming the Jays game
Hell
by
yeah.
going to the Canadian men's national soccer team friendly against Iceland at newly renovated BMO Field. Now here's the problem: is while I am excited for that, and I'm sure that the alcohol is going to make it less cold, um, it's going to be 0 degrees, and BMO Field is on the lake, so it's going to be cold as fuck, and I'm going to freeze to death. So I'm probably just going to leave at halftime and just go to the Rogers Center where it's nice and warm. Thank God for the dome.
Oh, yeah, that's exciting. The dome, that's going to be open. Probably sometime in April, which is crazy to think because I can't even imagine opening my windows right now. It's so cold and so snowy here in Sault Ste. Marie, but the sun is out, and that's exciting to me. So I'm just fired up for baseball. Blue Jays baseball opening day is tomorrow. The Blue Jays don't play tomorrow. The Yankees and the Giants play tomorrow, and I don't care enough about either of those teams, but it's baseball, so I will watch. I'm excited.
Did you see the hold on, did you see the Netflix, because Netflix has that game. Did you see like
What the hell?
all of the shenanigans that
What
they're
the hell are we
doing
doing? What the hell are we
pre-game?
doing? Netflix has this game.
But did you see all the shenanigans pregame? Like they got the Usos on the pregame. They got some character from Wednesday throwing out the ceremonial first pitch. Like it's just weird, man. Like it's just weird. Like I remember when Netflix had the Christmas football
Stop the
games.
circus.
Tangent to start the
Stop
episode,
the circus. Stop the
but
circus. It's a circus.
no, it is a circus. Yeah. Well, I remember the football games on Christmas when Netflix had those, and I remember they had the kids from Stranger Things were in the crowd, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? They booked out a booth. They booked out a booth. Netflix bought a booth at the Chargers game just for a Peaky Blinders promotion. Like, how much money do you guys have? Anyway,
I will say the coolest
I'm just
promotion.
excited about baseball, so
Well,
it's
and to
fine.
tie it back into baseball, remember last season or the season before, pardon my memory, when the movie Smile, the horror movie was out,
Oh my god,
and
so
those people
bad.
sat behind home plate just smiling.
I was so scared. I'd never been so scared to watch a baseball game in my life.
Terrifying.
I thought they were going to come through the screen and come get me.
Terrifying. Those kinds of things were terrifying. Anyway, let's get into some baseball because in 4 days from now, um, Kevin Gausman is taking the mound at the Rogers Center to kick off 2026 Blue Jays baseball. And we kind of got the season going a little bit early. A couple days ago, the Blue Jays announced that Ross Atkins, general manager, and manager John Schneider had signed extensions, which are pretty cool. Both were entering final years of their current deals or their previous deals, I guess. And now those distractions are out the window. They basically saved their jobs last season. 2 seasons ago, we had that abysmal 74 win 2024 season, and Atkins and Shapiro were on the hot seat, and arguably Schneider, everybody. I think everybody was questioning everyone's job from top down. And then the arc. This show me the 30 for 30. Show me the Netflix doc on this arc. This character arc is insane because now you have the 2025 season, which arguably was a couple feet away. If IKF was a couple inches taller, maybe we're talking about them being World Series champions, them being the Blue Jays. Anyway, Ross Atkins signs a 5-year extension. That sounds like a lot, but he's hired now until 2031. It will now make him the second longest tenured in GM in franchise history, and he's got a record of 303, 257. Doesn't matter. He didn't do anything. Well, he works the phone, so you know what I mean. And then Schneider signs a 2-year extension through 2028. Thoughts? Maybe not so much the GM, but do you like the 2-year for Schneider? I feel like the guy maybe deserved 3 or 4, and then you see what happens. But maybe two is more their jam.
I think that with managers, it's kind of. I was surprised to see that. I thought it was going to be 3 years. His last deal was 3 years. Um, I don't think it's like the craziest thing in the world. I don't think it really matters one way or the other. At the end of the day, managers don't make a ton of money, especially compared to coaches in other sports. If it goes well, you're just going to resign them. If it doesn't go well, you get out from under them. So that's kind of how I look at the length. I'm happy that he got his deal. He deserves it. I can't remember. I think the coolest thing about the Blue Jays in general, and we'll talk about Vladdy later as well. But just the growth from some of the guys and how we've seen them grow into their roles, and outside of Vladdy, the next biggest example of that is John Schneider, in my opinion, because John Schneider came in, he didn't have any previous managerial experience. He came up with some of these kids too, right? He came up with Kevin Biggio and Vladdy and Bo Bichette. He coached them all in New Hampshire. And he took over the team, and he seemed like he was a little bit in over his head at first, right? It did seem like he was either too quick to pull the trigger, not quick enough to pull the trigger. He just didn't really have a great feel at the time. And I'll give the Blue Jays and Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro a lot of credit for sticking with him and believing in him. Because if you remember, after the Barrios decision, the whole fiasco that happened in that wild card game, there's a lot of questions of one of these guys got to go. Whoever that decision was, right? It's either John Schneider's got to go, Ross Atkins got to go, one of these guys got to go. Then they follow it up with a terrible season. And I don't think that, and realistically, coming into last year, was there anyone in the sport that was on a hotter seat than those two guys at their respective jobs?
No.
Like Ross Atkins was on the hot
Yep.
seat as GM with a Vladdy extension looming or Vladdy departure potentially looming, with a Bo Bichette unsigned as well, coming off a 74 win season. John Schneider going into 2 years left in his deal. Generally, when you're going into that last year, that's kind of when you either quote unquote crap or get off the pot with a manager. So he's basically coaching for his job. And if there were a lot of stories last year or that have come out, I guess recently, about John Schneider and the work that he did last offseason to grow in his role, and like whether it was mental skills training, whether it was learning how to manage people, like all of this stuff. Like he became very comfortable with himself. He became very comfortable with the position that he was in, and it showed in everything that happened throughout the season, right? Everything he touched turned to gold. Every decision he made was the right one, and he just had such a good feel for his players. He had such a good feel for his team. They built such a good culture, and he deserves so much credit for that. And so, yeah, like I don't know the last time that we got an approval rating like increase this drastic in Toronto sports. Like in my lifetime, I can't remember a turnaround like this. I've seen it go the other way a lot, right? Like we can even, you look across the street at Scotiabank Arena with what's happened with the Leafs, and Berube and Treliving have gone the other way.
Right.
But I can't remember the last time that someone's approval rating skyrocketed like this. Two guys, for that matter. And so happy for them. I'm glad that it got done before the season. Again, it limits distractions. It eliminates distractions right off the bat. You know who's going to be in charge at both levels. Say what you want about Ross Atkins. I hate listening to the guy talk. I think he's more boring to listen to than, I'd rather watch paint dry than listen to Ross Atkins talk sometimes. Because he's really good at saying a lot and not saying anything at all, which, to be fair, is his job. So, but he's built a good team. He's built a really good team, and the farm system's starting to look a lot healthier. The depth in the major leagues, the thing I've been most impressed with this offseason is just how much they were able to kind of like prepare for what was coming. And you see it with the rotation injuries, right? Everyone's asking, man, they have all these pitchers. When are they going to pitch? And the thing that you sit there and think about is, well, like it's going to sort itself out, or, oh, this guy's going to whatever. It's like, no, they clearly knew something was coming in terms of injuries, in terms of setbacks, whatever. And they were very well prepared for it. And now, they're not caught with their pants down. And that's a credit to Ross Atkins. They're set up really well. I think they're one of the deepest teams in the sport, which he gets credit for. And yeah, I'm really pumped up. I can't wait for this season to start. It's the most excited I've been for a J season since probably 2021. And even 2021, they didn't play here for half the season, right?
Yep.
So, like, realistically, like, I can't remember the last time I was this excited for the start of a Blue Jays season. And yeah, we're only 3 days away now. So
Yeah, I think something that also gets lost on John Schneider. Dude has over 300 wins as a Blue Jays manager. That's pretty cool. 303 wins. He's a runner-up for American League Manager of the Year, and obviously you lead them to a World Series. So I don't know if the removal or the disappearance of Don Mattingly hurts John Schneider very much and the team. I think they'll be fine. They proved to be fine during spring training. Life is good there. And Shapiro actually had a perfect quote that kind of fits both Schneider and Atkins, which is he said, "I'm a strong supporter of stability and continuity, and Ross continues to make us better." Well, let's continue to be better. You said you
it's hard to argue with that,
hard
right? Like,
hard
I
to
mean,
argue,
you
dude.
look at
Hard to argue. And then he
yeah,
goes on to say
you,
that's a franchise that feels really good about where it's going. Hell yeah. Hell
yeah.
yeah.
Well, like, how often do you look at it and go, presidents locked up, GMs locked up, managers locked up, franchise players locked up, and you feel good about everybody that's in that position? It's not very often, right? Like, the last time that we've had that in this city was I don't never, right? Like realistically, the last time we actually like felt that way, honestly, the last time was 2016 with or 2017 with Shanahan, Babcock, and Matthews, right? Like you
See,
had Matthews, who was a young franchise
I was
player.
just about to say the last time we felt that was during the Leafs tenure, and unfortunately, we have seen how that has played out over the last decade.
Well, and even
So
that was about hope, right? That was about hope.
that's
That was
true.
projecting
That's
forward.
true.
Like here, you have proof of concept with these
That's true.
guys, right? Like you've seen it
Yep.
work, and
Let's do it
so
again and
yeah,
again and
like
again and
it's
again.
they're in a really
I
good
love it.
spot. They're in a really good spot.
Earlier this week, we learned the official, I guess, rotation and how opening day is going to kind of look for the Blue Jays. Um, a ton of injuries. I'm not sure if anybody was expecting them, or they just kind of feel like they're piling on a little bit. Um, you have Noya Savage, no Barrios, three pitchers on the IL before we've started the regular season. However, you do have yourself a pretty good looking starting five for the Toronto Blue Jays, I must say. Um, Going into this season, you have Kevin Gosman, Dylan Cease, Eric Lauer, Cody Ponce, and Max Scherzer. Those are your starting five, which means your first 5 games of the season um, are shaping up to look pretty good. Um, I don't know if anybody can argue that we have probably the best 1-2 punch in baseball right now. Gosman Cease 1-2, at least in the American League. I'm telling you, that's pretty good. I like it. I like it.
Detroit wants a word. Detroit wants a word. Tariq Skubal, Framber Valdez, pretty damn good. I mean, it's
That's a
you're not going to complain
that's an
about
eight.
Gosman Cease. It's pretty
That's like a
good.
70-30 for them though. We're talking like
Yeah, but it counts.
anyway. That's I'm not necessarily saying that to be bold. I'm saying that because I think it's legit. I genuinely think we have an above average, maybe not Detroit level. Okay, laser beam all of a sudden jumping ship. However, I don't know. I think that for me, you got to think we're at least winning the first 2 games of the season off pitching alone. Shout out the Athletics. I'm not trying to doubt major leaguers. I am not one. However, they're the Athletics. I like Lauer at 3. Um, I think we were all kind of projecting, or maybe I was, that kind of like long reliever style, or maybe something that wasn't necessarily going to play but like full starter. But here we are. We are now full starter, and 3 is a nice place. Ponce at 4. I'm a Scherzer guy. I'm probably putting Scherzer there. That's just me. Dude's been.
There's a reason for
I
that.
know there's a reason for that. Dude's been money though. Dude is money right now. Just saying. If you could put money.
That's the reason.
Right. You want
Do you
yes,
know the
because
reason?
now
Do you know why?
arguably because now you're even 5-1-2 through like you're if 4 is your weak spot, like
Well,
what is your
it's set up. So the way the schedule is set up is that it is set up now with Scherzer at 5 that the Dodgers
well,
series will be Scherzer, Gosman, Cease. That's why they did it. I bet if you gave them truth serum and asked them who do they trust more, of course they're going to say Scherzer over Cody Ponce,
you would
right?
hope well you would
So I think they just set it up that
you would
way.
hope.
They just set it up that way so they could get their 3 best guys going against the
No.
Dodgers. I fully believe that.
You know what? I love the move. Honestly, dude's going into his 19th season. Looks like an absolute animal in spring training. I don't think he allowed a single run in spring
He
training.
was
Dude, I'm
nails,
telling you,
man.
nasty.
It was
I have a
nails.
Max Scherzer story later in this episode that I want to touch on, and there's a reason why he's kind of been able to bounce back in a bit of an artistic way, if you will.
It's a great story.
Yeah, but the April schedule definitely helps as well. Maybe it can help kind of bolster a little bit of this rotation. Like I said, you got Athletics, Rockies, and then you busted out with the Dodgers, the rematch, April 6th through 8th. That's when this rotation is going to have to put its money where its mouth is. Um, it's not all about the rotation, though. We kind of have a handful of relievers that are going to make some noise. And I'm sure you can speak more to the to some of where these guys are going to fit in best, and some of the situations. I mean, you're a pitcher. You've been in situations maybe not as elevated as an MLB opening day, but you've been part of opening days.
Definitely haven't pitched in a
Hey,
big
but
league.
listen,
No,
but
I haven't.
listen,
I haven't pitched in the big
but
leagues.
but you've pitched in opening days, correct? So
I
you got
have, yeah.
opening day vibes. I don't want to hear it. I'm calling it right now. This guy's got opening day
I love
vibes.
opening
That's
day.
it. So anyway,
I love opening
I'm not
day.
going to deliver a bold take until I hear a little bit of how you kind of do. You love the lineup? Do you like how the 1 through 5 is shaped up? Like you said, you've already kind of offered your take on why Scherzer is there where he is. Is this the 5 that you see even when everyone's healthy? Where are people going to shift around? Maybe that's a good way to just put you on the spot.
It's like they've said it all spring. It's going to be a meritocracy, and that's how it should be treated. And it is a privilege to be in that position as an organization. It's not very often that you get to treat a lineup or a rotation as a complete meritocracy where everybody is competing and it's whoever the best guy is going to go. Um, Again, like tenure generally matters, not for these guys. If Max Scherzer is pitching like crap and Trey Savage is ready to go, he's going to take a spot. That's how it's going to go. So like it's very unlikely that this ends up being the 5-man rotation at the end of the season. Um, Again, you have Shane Bieber, Trey Savage, who are lurking. You have a guy who's won a Cy Young. You have a guy who delivered one of the greatest rookie pitching postseason performances of all time a year ago. Those guys are going to get their opportunities to start. Um, you're going to probably have some injuries. Max Scherzer is old. Like he's at the end of the day, he's probably going to miss a few starts. I would be shocked if Max Scherzer makes 32 starts this year. Also might be a good opportunity to skip him once or twice in the rotation, right? Like you get a Savage to come in and, you skip a Max Scherzer start, let him go 5 days later. Another guy needs a rest, you put him in there, right? Eric Lauer, we already know he can be flexible. We already know he can move to the bullpen. That is the most, if you ask me which guy is most likely to move to the bullpen first, it's probably Lauer. The one guy I don't really know where he fits in is Jose Barrios. I think they're going to take their time with that one, with him coming back, partially because I don't think even they really know where he fits in at this point. So, yeah, I mean, first series against the Athletics, you're going to have, sorry, let me pull it up. Yeah, you're going to have Gosman, Cease, Lauer going game 1, 2, 3. Then against the Rockies, you're going to have Ponce, Scherzer, Gosman going on that Monday to Wednesday. So that's how the first week essentially of the season is going to go. And then, like we mentioned, start of the next week, you're playing the Dodgers and you're going to have Scherzer, Gosman, Cease lined up for that series, which should be a really, really fun one. Really fun midweek, early season matchup there. I firmly believe that, and I know I was giving you some shit for the top 2 guys in the rotation. It's an excellent top 2, right? Gosman and Cease is really good. There are some other really good ones, like Garrett Cole's going to be back soon. Garrett Cole, Max Fried is pretty electric. Skubal, Framber Valdez. You look at the National League, and you're going to have Yamamoto, Snell, right? Like, there's some really good top of the rotations. All right, yeah, you can keep yawning. There's going to be some really good, like, top rotation guys. What very few teams have is 8 legit major league starters. The Jays have 8 dudes who are proven, maybe not 8 dudes who are proven major leaguers, but they have 6 guys who are proven major leaguers, and the 2 guys who aren't are Cody Ponce and Trey Savage. You feel pretty damn good about that. So people are worried because, what if there's another injury? It's like, well, then there would be 4 injuries in the starting rotation, and very few teams survive 4 injuries to the starting rotation. The Jays will still be in a better position than almost anyone else to survive 4 injuries to the starting rotation. You look at the Yankees, and their only real injury in the rotation right now is Garrett Cole. He's their most significant one, and their rotation looks awful without Garrett Cole. So yeah, like a lot of these teams, you miss 1 or 2 of your good starters, and you're swimming uphill or upstream, and You look at the Jays; they're missing 3 guys, and they look stable, right? So, um, also you compare it to last year's starting rotation, and Jose Barrios started opening day a year ago. Kevin Gausman was obviously still there.
It's true.
They had Bowden Francis starting games for them the first month of the season. They had Easton Lucas starting games for them the first month of the season. You replaced Easton Lucas and Bowden Francis with Cody Ponce and Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer made one start in April last year. Excuse me. Max Scherzer made one start in April last year, blew out his thumb after 3 innings. I was there. It sucked. I was like, oh, well, that was fun, the Max Scherzer experience. But yeah, like he looks stronger this year. Dylan Cease, I'm really, really high on Dylan Cease this year. I think he's going to end up being the ace. Like I think he's going to be the number one by the end of the year. Um, Gausman, obviously, we know what Gausman can do. Lauer is the Swiss Army knife. Cody Ponce, really like him as well. Trey is Savage. The nice thing about even a guy like Savage is there's not a ton of pressure on him, right? Like he doesn't have to be elite right off the bat because there are so many other guys who can do the job that if he's not elite, that's okay, right? Like they can do just fine if Trey Savage isn't great. Even last year in the playoffs, it was one of those things where if Trey Savage isn't great, the Jays are in trouble, right? That's not going to be the case this year. So that's great. That's it for the rotation side of it. I think I've spent enough time there. We'll go to the bullpen really, really quick. Bullpen projects as Jeff Hoffman being the closer. Your setup guys are going to be Tyler Rogers, Louis Varland, most likely. Louis Varland, I heard he's already warming up for opening day. But you got those two. Tommy Nance made the team. Brandon Little, who we'll touch on. Braden Fisher. Looks like Flu Hardy will be on the team. And then the last spot in the bullpen is going to go to either Chase Lee or Spencer Miles. Spencer Miles is a Rule 5 pick, so if Spencer Miles doesn't make the team, they have to offer him back to his previous team. Don't get mad at me. I forget what team we got him from, but they're going to have to either offer him back or work out a trade. Chase Lee, I don't believe he has any options, so he would also have to be DFA'd if they don't pick him. So one of those guys is likely not going to be a Blue Jay by opening day. I'm not sure which guy I would necessarily go with. I'd probably go with Spencer Miles because I would bet on the velo. He throws 98. Chase Lee throws from a weird arm slot. So, again, we're really talking about the last guy in the bullpen, right? Like it's not that crazy either way, right? Like you're not going to like throw a massive fit about it, whichever guy they choose. So, yeah, I mean, even you look at that, and then Jimmy Garcia should be back at some point. That should also help with their with the velocity in the bullpen. So bullpen's looking deep, looking good. Thing about the bullpen is they don't really have they don't have a Juwan Duran, they don't have an Edwin Diaz, they don't have these like absolute top end bullpen guys, but they have a lot of depth in that bullpen, and so should be able to get outs. They have a lot of different profiles, which I like. A lot of guys who are different from each other. Obviously, you got Tyler Rogers throwing 82 from underneath. Then you got Louis Varland bringing 100 on a regular basis, who can give you multiple innings. We'll see how it goes. Jeff Hoffman, obviously, he's going to have to fight some of those scars of the way that last season ended. Those every time that he gives up a home run, people are going to remember what happened at the end of last season. Actually, really funny story here for you. I was playing MLB The Show yesterday, and I was doing the Jays franchise. Okay, I can't make this up. I was doing a Jays franchise, and I hopped into game against the Dodgers. And in that game against the Dodgers, Will Smith hits a game-tying home run. Miguel Rojas hits the go-ahead home run in the 9th inning to win. Can't make it up, man. I just can't get away from it. Anyway, that's a complete side tangent. Doesn't really matter. But
yikes, haunting. Yeah. I feel like that's pre-programmed in there. I feel like that's supposed to happen.
Feels that way, doesn't it?
Yeah. Somebody's doing that on purpose. Do you have a bold take, pitching bold take for this season?
I have one for a starter, and then I have one for a reliever. Do you want me to give both, or do you want me to pick one?
I mean, we could both give our starter ones. I don't have a reliever one, so we could go one for one, and then
Okay.
you can finish.
Okay, so I'll give you my starter one. You give me your starter one,
Okay,
and then I'll give you my
go
reliever one.
for it.
My starter prediction is that Dylan Cease is going to lead the American League in strikeouts this year.
I like it. I like it. My bold prediction is that Max Scherzer will throw a Blue Jays no hitter this season.
That is awfully bold. You think Max Scherzer can throw 9 innings still?
It could be combined. I'll even let it be combined. But he will be
Okay, so you're
he
saying
will
he's
be
going to be a
part of
part
a
of one.
no
Okay.
hitter this season for the Blue Jays.
Okay. 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 I like it. I like it. I like a bold take.
Either that
Um,
or Lauer
my
will for sure throw a no hitter. Like he could probably go the distance and throw nine. Like if we're gonna be serious,
I
it's
mean,
either Cease, Lauer, or Scherzer. Those are the three who could probably get the job done for me.
Gosman, Lauer's not throwing a no hitter, but Gosman
Scherzer
could.
will be part of a no hitter this year.
Okay. Okay. Jays haven't had a no hitter since Dave Steeb. They've only had one before,
That's one of
so
my mom's.
had a
That's one
couple
of my
close
mom's
calls.
favorite pitchers of all time. Yep,
Nice, nice. Yeah, he's a lot of people's favorite pitcher. Dave Steeb was maybe one of the most underrated pitchers of all time. But
legend.
um, bullpen hot
Bullpen
take,
hot take.
okay, and this is where you're gonna be mad
Oh
at me
no.
because you're gonna disagree. Okay, Brandon Little is gonna close games for this team this season. I am all aboard the Brandon Little hype train. I really, really am. You look at his velocity in spring, you look at the way that his stuff is playing right now, and he looks like a different dude. And here's what I will say about Brandon Little. Okay, so we, in our lives, okay, everyone can relate to this. In our lives, when it comes to something that we care about or something that we're passionate about, we generally get met with a fork in the road moment in that, where things are going really, really poorly, or you get punched in the face in whatever aspect of your life, whether you get fired from a job, whether you're going through a breakup, whatever it might be in your life. You face adversity, and it's not about what you do in that moment, because that moment generally something bad happened for you, right? For Brandon Little, that moment is the ALCS, where he gave up the grand slam, or he gave the home run to Raleigh, looked like a deer in the headlights, and then obviously the 18 inning game with Freddie Freeman. That's his moment there, right?
Crazy.
When we go through adversity like that, one of two things happens. You either fold and you crumble and you give up and you go, this isn't for me. I'm not built for this. I can't do it. Or you use it as a learning experience, you lose it as a building block, and it motivates you and it helps you become a different version of yourself that you didn't even know you could be, where you basically say to yourself, I will never allow that to happen again. And just based off of what Brandon Little has looked like this spring, he looks like a man on an absolute mission to prove all of the haters wrong, because everybody gave up on him, right? Everybody gave up on Brandon Little. And the fact that he's come out and he's throwing 98
Mm-hmm.
and he's reinvented
Mm-hmm.
himself a little bit and he's doing things that he's never done before, right? I think, in again, I've obviously not spoken to him. I don't know him at all,
Hello.
but it strikes me it strikes me as a guy who decided that I am never ever going to feel like that ever again. And if that's the case, and he develops a little bit more of a fuck you attitude, and he can throw more strikes, and he has that four seam fastball, and he can pair it well with his other pitches, he has a shot to be legit, because he generated a ton of swing and miss last year. His stuff was nasty. He just didn't throw enough strikes, and it made it easy to hit when he did, because you were almost always in hitters counts. So I'm really high on Brandon Little. I think Jeff Hoffman, I would be surprised if Jeff Hoffman closes games the entire year. I just don't trust him enough to believe that he's going to have that role over the course of a full season. And I think Brandon Little has the second best stuff of anyone in that bullpen. So, yeah, I'm really high on Brandon Little. I'm here for the Brandon Little redemption tour, and I would love to see it happen. I think it would be a great story.
If it helps the team, I'm here for it. If it's a positive for the Blue Jays, I will support it. Um, Maybe not that bold, like you said. Man's on a mission. You don't throw 98 and not mean it. So I'm here for it. I'm done with pitching. I need to move on now to outfielders. Oh, sorry, position players. But I
Yep.
didn't mean that tongue in cheekly. I meant that legitimately. Holy outfielders, bro. The Blue Jays have like 6 or 7 outfielders. They're loaded. Um, but we have a handful of other position players too. So moving on to Blue Jays position players in a lineup that probably shakes down like like this: Springer, Varsho, Guerrero, Barger, Kirk, Sanchez, Okamoto, Clement, Jimenez. That is per MLB.com. That is not my decision making. That is somebody else's. Now, I'm here for it. I don't hate that lineup at all. I like the way that shakes down 1 through 9. I think it also allows for a lot of play and a lot of options. Um, I think Sanchez is probably um, going to fit in, nicely and hopefully hit some bombs. Um, Jimenez is in that same situation as some of those pitchers are, where he can't be sent down without having to go through waivers. Um,
Which Jimenez are you talking about?
Leo,
Yes. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and
So
that's going to
the
be
last bench
yeah,
spot
and that's
comes down to him and Schneider.
honestly that's tough because you go Schneider, you send Schneider down and hope that because he has to pass through his is the same thing, right? He's waivers too.
I think that Schneider has one option year left, but I'll double check
Oh,
that
that
right
would
now.
be nice. If he has an option year left, then I really do like that. Um, it would be it would be nice to somehow keep both.
Yeah. So he has 2 option years left,
Well,
David Schneider.
well,
So he can be sent down this year and he can be sent
well.
down
Then
next
maybe
year.
that's what we see just to make things fit. Go to start the year. He 100% is on the team for the long haul. Like down the stretch. I always find that
Yeah.
sometimes opening day rosters are finicky because of that. You're just trying to make things work. You want to keep guys around. You want to make contracts work, all that kind of stuff. So I get it. I love it. I love that lineup. Um, I'm fired up for it. Missing Bichette, missing I guess Santander. Obviously there are names that are either with the team or not with the team anymore that you'd maybe like to see in this lineup. But overall, let's go. I'm here for it. You? Yeah? Come on. You like it.
Yeah, I gotta give, and this goes back to the Ross Atkins thing. Like this, for me, like this has been Ross Atkins' best offseason as general manager. He has done such a good job of filling every hole adequately. You lose Bo Bichette, you move Ernie over to second, leaves you a hole at third base. What do? Go get Kazuma Akamoto, who, by all accounts, has a shot to be a pretty damn good hitter in the big leagues. 4-year deal, 60 million, nice and reasonable. Santander gets injured right before spring training. What do? You go get Jesus Sanchez, who is going to fit in nicely against righties. He's going to keep that platoon. Basically, what you've done is you've upgraded from last year. You've upgraded from Nathan Lucas to Jesus Sanchez against righties. Against lefties, that outfield is still going to look very similar. You're likely going to have David Schneider in there if he's on the team early. If not, might see a little bit of Miles Straw early on out there. I think that's where they're stuck between a rock and a hard place with the Schneider Jimenez thing. Um, and then and then you look at the infield and same thing, right? You got Okamoto at third, Jimenez now full time at short. Your catching situation is set. The only question is going to be: do you keep Leo Jimenez? Do you keep David Schneider? Obviously, David Schneider, if we're looking just on merit, David Schneider had a rough spring, and so people are kind of holding that against him. I don't really care about the rough spring. It doesn't really matter to me that much. I think spring training results are kind of fake anyway. George Springer last year was terrible in the spring, and then he was amazing during the season. My only thing with the David Schneider thing again is I do think Leo Jimenez can be a useful player, and because he has no options left, I think that Schneider might end up being the odd man out here just to start the year. I think you give Leo Jimenez like a 2 week runway, let him play against lefties, give him a couple starts a week, see how it goes. If he can hold his own, maybe you either look at trading one of him or Schneider, um, building up their value that way, or you just keep Leo Jimenez until the wheels fall off, right? So, and if it doesn't go well, that's fine. You just, you send him down, you DFA him, you bring up Schneider, you wipe your hands clean. Um, Again, if your biggest concern is the last guy on your roster, you're in a pretty good spot. It's a pretty deep lineup, man. Like it really is. That lineup that you read out, that looks like it's going to be the opening day lineup. My only difference would be against lefties. They're going to face Jeffrey Springs on Saturday, so it's going to be our first look at their lineup against lefties. If Davis Schneider is there, I assume Schneider slides into that 2 spot in the order for Jesus Sanchez, and then Varsho moves down to 6. That would be my guess. Besides that, it should look awfully similar. I'm super high on Addison Barger. I think he's going to have a great season. I think he could be an all-star this year.
Wow.
Offer some protection to Vladdy too. I think Varsho is going to have a really good year too. Varsho obviously is coming into a contract season. Springer is the one guy where it's like he has looked good in the spring and everything looks fairly similar to last year. He's the one guy where it's like, at what point is Father Time really going to catch up with him? But again, I think that the lineup is in a spot where you can have one or two guys regress and not feel that bad about it, right? Like they're not relying on Nathan Lucas to repeat his performance from last year and start a bunch of games and whatnot, right? Like he is very clearly the 4th outfielder right now. Andres Jimenez at the 9 hole, like he's going to be a great defender. Whatever he gives you offensively, he's clutch. He can come up with big hits and big moments. Ernie Clement, obviously postseason hit leader at the bottom of the order. They just have tough outs everywhere, man. Like that was the thing that impressed me the most about last year's Blue Jays team was just how difficult of an out they were and how hard pitchers had to work for every single out. And that's something that I think is going to continue. Again, shout out Dave Popkins, hitting coach for the Blue Jays. So they've, yeah, man, it's hard not to be really excited about this lineup. Like I said, it's not their pitching staff and their lineup. They're not the most top heavy, right? Obviously, you have the superstar with Vladdy, but they're not that top heavy in terms of having like all this top end talent. They don't have like, the sexiest 2, 3, 4 in the order, but they're just so deep. You don't get a break with any of these guys. Like it's going to be hell to go into there and play a 3-game set against these dudes, and that is really exciting as a Jays fan.
Yeah, like you said, it's the depth, it's the relentlessness of everybody who comes to the plate is going to give you a hard time. But I think you're going to hear that word a lot this year is relentless. This Blue Jays team is going to feel that way every single game, which I love. You know how sometimes you just
and they really have leaned into and they really have leaned into their identity of being able to match up with anything that comes their way, right? Like you saw it last year, right? Like they were able to throw out a different lineup every day depending on who they were going up against, right? Like, and guys just fitting into roles and buying into their roles. Like Miles Straw is probably going to play in 110 games this year, right? He might only get like 100 at bats, but he's going to play in like 110 games because he's going to come in as a defensive replacement. You're going to feel really, really good about it late in games. Davis Schneider, he knows I'm here to mash against lefties. That's what I'm here to do. If I get an opportunity against righties, I'm going to do it. But again, like he's a guy who struggles with high velo at the top of the zone, especially right-handed pitchers. And they don't put him in the spot where he has to face those guys, right? They have other guys who can do that. Everything that one guy struggles with, they have someone that can pick up the slack. Jesus Sanchez comes here. He can't hit lefties. He's never hit lefties in his entire career. He's not going to have to, right? Because they have other guys on the roster who can hit left-handed pitching. So that's what I really, really like about this team is that they have a bunch. They're very malleable, right? Like they're it's kind of a chameleon, right? Like they can kind of like change their colors based on what the situation asks for. I guess my only area of concern really is backup catcher. Tyler Heineman had an awesome season last year. I don't know how much I buy Tyler Heineman repeating that level of success. And if he struggles, could be a problem. But I am decently high on Brandon Valenzuela as a guy who can come up during the season and help out in that spot. So again, man, like they have a ton of depth. They're going to be able to survive injuries. That's the big thing in a 162 game season. It's what makes the Dodgers so special, right? The Dodgers have injuries all the time, and obviously they have the highest paid roster in the history of life. But they also just have a ton of depth, right? Like they have a ton of minor leaguers who can come up and step in, whether it's an Alex Call or an Andy Pajes, right? Like they have these dudes who aren't getting paid all that money, and they can come in and step in when some of these dudes need a break. So, yeah, they're really well set up to have a successful 162 here.
Yeah,
Way better than they were at the start of last year.
that's true. It's true. I'm excited. Do you have a bold take that you'd like to share about this roster that you see in front of us?
I got a couple. I got a couple bold takes. One of them is bolder than the
Okay,
other.
well, do you want to go?
So I have a statistical one.
Okay,
Yeah, I have a statistical one, and then I have another one. So my one bold take is Okamoto wins AL Rookie of the Year. That's my bold take in terms of awards.
that's a bold
Um,
take.
in terms of stats, my bold take is that Dalton Varsho hits 35 homers this year.
We really should have wrote some of these down before.
Oh my god, tell me that's your bold take. Is that your bold
Fuck's
take?
sakes, pardon me, but yeah,
I should have let you go first because
no,
I had a
that's
couple.
okay. A, a 455 average and a basically perfect slugging percentage. Like dude's just mashing this
Yeah,
season. New hitting approach. I was gonna say dude's hitting 35 this season. Like I'm hammering if it was an option, I would hammer 35 or over for sure. Like I'd probably say the
right.
over. Um
You'd get good odds
you
on
get
that
pretty
too.
good odds on that. No, I mean as far as this whole team could offer you, a series of hot take. I think Barger could probably pop off for 30 homers this year too. Um, Ultimately, this team rakes. I absolutely love that we have a similar mindset in that. Um, I'm here for it. I'm also here for the Okamoto love. I think it's valid. I think it's warranted. I don't quite know what his bat is going to offer just yet. Like it's been kind of quiet in the spring ish. I don't know. Like you could,
He hasn't gotten a ton of at
yeah,
bats, right? Like he was in
yeah,
Japan with
that's what I
the.
mean. So like it is what it is.
It might be an adjustment period, right? Like he's never faced pitching like this
Right.
before, so give him a month. Give him a month to get adjusted, but I think he's going to take off after that. Bonus take in terms of the team, I think the Blue Jays are going to finish top 5 in home runs in Major League Baseball this year. That's my bonus take.
Um,
I'll let you have the Varsho take. I'm gonna do
well, I
that
was
as my
gonna say I
bonus
do
take.
have a take that I've been simmering on, and I guess now's
All
the
right, let's
best
go.
time.
Let's do take talk.
Anthony Santander has played his last game as a Blue Jay.
I
I think we're going
mean,
to trade Anthony Santander for like picks and or cash and or players to be
you
named
can't trade picks
later.
in baseball.
You know what I mean? It's gonna be it's
I
it's
know. I
gonna
know.
be shit like that. Like give me.
You're not getting a bag of balls for him right
I'm
now.
just saying. I don't. That's call it a hot take. Call it what you want. Anthony Santander.
Unfortunately, we won't know that one until
Six
next
months
year.
from now, if anything, that's the earliest. So
Well, he's done. He's
he's
done for the year.
cooked.
He's not
He's
going to be back.
cooked. He's played
Yeah,
his last game as a Blue Jay. See you later. Social experiment number uno. That was fun while it lasted. That's my hot take. Call it what you will. Moving on
nice.
to,
I like that one.
yeah, moving on, I guess. We're kind of taking some over unders, and I think over unders are a blast. When we were chatting about what some over unders could be, you discovered that the Blue Jays were actually favorites to win the World Series, but not favorites to win their division. Kind of a fun, I guess, stat to discover or betting odd to come across. Um,
Well, so the Jays, the odds have changed since we
Ooh. a little
Next
bit of
and we
change.
talked about that a
I
while
like
ago.
that.
Dodgers are the heavy favorites. Dodgers are heavy
Oh,
favorites to win the World Series. They're plus 200. Jays are currently seventh on this list. They're actually third in the American League East. The
yeah.
Yankees, Mariners, Mets, Red Sox, Phillies, and Jays um, round out the top seven. Um, yeah, Jays are plus 1,700 to win the World Series this year. Yankees being the second biggest favorite is an absolute joke to me, but that's a story for another time, I guess.
Story for another pod. But either way, we've got rapid fire over unders, one sentence or less as to why you are justifying this over under. Um, that's a restriction for you to follow, not so much for me. Um,
I might get to two. I might get to two sentences, but I'll keep it under two.
changing the rules already. Here we go. Blue Jays wins. Over under 87 and a half.
I'm taking the over, and I'm slamming the over here. I think the Jays' floor is 82 wins. Like, I think their worst case scenario is they finish slightly above 500. They won 94 games last year, and they didn't lose much. They probably got better. So, yeah, I'll take the over on
I
that.
would also take the over on that. I was going to say 92 wins. That's my prediction on the
Okay.
year. Is 92 wins for this Toronto Blue Jays team. Um,
Okay. Mine's higher. I have it at
love it.
95. That's my
Love it.
prediction.
That's a series. When you think about it, that's a series. That's like if you feel tired in August, like that. That
Yeah.
sort of mindset. Um, that's when a team like the Cardinals comes in and beats you for three straight, and you go, "What the hell just happened?" Anyway,
Cardinals aren't beating anybody three straight. Let the dream die. It's
golly,
okay.
tough. Vladdy Guerrero over under 29 and a half homers.
I'm gonna go over. I don't think it's gonna be by much. I think it's probably gonna be under 35, but over 30. Maybe in that like 32, 33 range. Uh, bonus take, I think he's gonna have over 100 RBIs. But I think that's yeah. So I have the over.
I am going to take the over for that exact same reason. I projected 35 as probably his max this season. I'd love to see 40, 50 bomb Vladdy. Don't get me wrong. Dude's got the ability. I'm just guys like that get pitched differently. So you got to factor all that sort of stuff in. So long-winded two sentences over 33 homers.
It's a really good point. Barger is going to be actually really important for Vladdy's production because if he's hitting behind him, if Barger has a really good season, Vladdy's going to get more pitches to hit because teams are going to want to stay away from Barger a little bit more. So that's a really good take by you.
Dylan Cease, who we know you're high on. Dylan Cease strikeouts over under 200 and a half.
I have to say over because I said he was going to lead the American League in strikeouts, and I think it's going to take more than 200 strikeouts for him to do that. So I'll take the over.
I'm going to be an asshole. I'm going to say under 198 strikeouts.
It's pretty close. It's pretty good though.
Pretty close, but pretty good. That we can take that.
Yeah.
Gosman. What did I write here? I wrote Gosman strikeouts.
Strikeouts.
You have Gosman strikeouts over under 170 and a half.
I'm going to go under on this one. I've been taking a lot of overs. I'm going to go under on Gosman. Again, not by much. There's a lot of miles on that arm. My theory on the under there is I don't know that he's going to have his 32 starts a year like he's had every season. I could see him having like a month or so where he's on the IL. Again, this is where having the rotation depth is really nice. They can afford to do that. So I'm going to take the under for that reason.
I am going to say over, not by much, 180 max. I don't need.
What's he projected to do? I
give
just
a
want to see
reason.
here. He's projected at 174 strikeouts.
I'm gonna say
in 170.
I'm saying 180.
Okay, I like it.
Okamoto, newbie, new guy alert. Okamoto homers 22 and a half, over or under.
I'm gonna say under. I think that, like I said earlier, I think that he might get off to a slower start adjusting to the major leagues. I think if you take his last 5 month pace, like after April, for example, I think his pace might be over 22 and a half. But I think he probably ends up in that. If he hits 20 home runs for you this year, you'll be pretty happy. So I'll take the under.
I am taking the over by that half, 23 homers.
Wow.
Hey, I really like the renovations at Rogers Center for that reason. Like I think there's a little bit of that extra love, and we have to remember a team that the Blue Jays are going to play a number of times. Also, the Orioles have made changes to their ballpark and brought some walls in. So all factors into my reasoning there. You get a hold of one, you love to see it. 23 homers. Your favorite on the list, I'm here for it. The first series with the Dome open. Right now, the current betting favorite as of 5:55 p.m. on March 24th is that the Dome is going to be open for the May series against the Angels, May 8th through 10th. You feel good about that before or after that date?
This is a weird one because I think the weather is going to be good enough before that to open the dome. It feels right. May 8th to 10th, it feels right. It's probably when it's going to be. If I had to pick one side or the other, just because we're going to stick with the string of optimism here on this pod, I'm going to say it's going to be open earlier than that. Mainly because if it's not open earlier than that, I might cry. So I need it for my mental health. So I'm going to say it's going to be open before May 8th. What say you?
Well, there's no law or like rhyme or reason for the dome to be open or closed other than the fact that the weather has to reach about 15 degrees Celsius.
I think it's a minimum of 10 that the roof is operational at a minimum of 10
So,
degrees. But they have to test it too. So
exactly. So you're like, so, a little bit warmer than that, ideally.
15 and sunny would probably be the trick.
I'm guaranteeing right now the roof will be open before that series.
Guarantee.
Toronto always plays
I love a
they
guarantee.
always play around. Will it be open? Is it warm enough? Get over it. You decided to build this concrete pit and then stuck a dome on top of it. Open that shit up. It's baseball season. You're not getting any more snow down there after April Easter. April Easter. You like that? Which is April 5th this year. So
You don't know that.
open that shit up. It will be open. I'm putting a guarantee on it.
I love it. I
Guarantee
love it.
that is open. Um, Max Scherzer. We talked about him a little bit, but a story came up that I just wanted to bring everyone's attention to, where it was either retire or learn to play the piano. And I think that's a really cool story that came out. That sure enough, last season after the thumb injury, it came out that a lot could not be done. It surgery to the finger, the pain was going to be there. He's struggling and he's genuinely contemplating retirement. And he picks up playing the piano, and that gravitates to asking hotel lobbies to unlock their pianos while they're on the road. And teammates end up calling him Mozart. And this guy is now bringing in, keyboards that he can fold up and bring to his room. And he's, all from teaching his kids some basic songs that he knew growing up and kind of knew how to plunk out. It turned out that he unlocked this hidden, I guess, form of rehab to his hand and to his joints and to his thumb, where now there are no, there is no surgical option. There's no need to, other than continuing to play, which, do you know what he's playing? A,
What do
like
you mean?
adaptions,
Like what songs?
adaptions of Dr. Dre and Eminem.
That's incredible.
This guy's
That's
sitting,
so good. I
this
missed
guy's
that.
sitting
Yeah.
there playing Eminem at midnight on hotel lobby pianos. I can't. I think that's unreal. Dude is nails coming out of spring training. A 0 ERA, 13 just before, just under 13 and a half innings pitched, 9 Ks, 5 walks. Dude, if Max Mozart Scherzer comes out,
It's a great nickname.
Max Mozart Scherzer. Dude, it's perfect. It's meant to be. Guy's a maestro at the plate, and that's why he's going to be part of the Blue Jays no hitter this year. That's why. Anyway, I just thought that story was awesome. I
Love
was
it.
super into that story when I
It's a
read
great
it. You
story.
can read more about it on the Athletic. I subscribe to the Athletic. I love the Athletic.
Who wrote the story?
Ken Rosenthal, of course. Pretty sure it was a
Rosenthal, yeah.
Rosenthal story, so there you go. Shout out.
Wow, Rosenthal wrote a positive story about the Blue Jays. Would you look at that? Anything's positive. It is a new year.
Well, this after I
It's great.
recently saw the video of him tripping over that cameraman again, and then giving the
Oh my
death stare, and I
god.
was like,
Drove me
dude,
nuts.
what a crazy. Anyway, we've been at this for an hour, so I want to get everybody out of here. But to close things off, I need you to either roast me or commend me for my fantasy baseball team. Are you cool to do that?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can tell me.
Are you able to share your screen on here? Like, is that something you could do?
Oh, there probably is a way to do that. I could maybe over.
Oh, we should have talked about that before. We could have put it up on the
I
thing.
can probably overlay it. If there's a way to do it, I will find a way.
Okay.
I'll read it off to you here as well, and you can just let me know good team or bad team at the end of it. At catcher.
How many? First of all, how many teams in the league?
So there are 8 teams in the league. So it's not a very deep league. Okay. Snake draft. I had the first overall pick. So that, yeah,
What are the categories for position players? I don't even know pitchers, but position.
So
players.
You're looking at 1 catcher, 1 position player is essentially it. So
no. The categories. The actual, is it points or categories?
It is a category league. You're looking at the standard, hits, RBIs, home runs, runs, and all that. So life is good.
Cool.
I think.
All right, let's hear it.
At catcher.
Well, I'm about to let you know if life is good.
At catcher. Hunter Goodman.
Okay, Colorado Rockies. Okay.
My first baseman, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Good pick.
My second baseman, Bryce Terang. My third baseman, Junior Caminero. My shortstop, Geraldo Perdomo.
Are you just trying to build Team DR? Like, is that what you're doing here with your infield?
I don't know. I don't know how it happened.
Team DR and Bryce.
It just happened that way. My outfield consists of Pete Crow Armstrong, Alec Burleson, and Jack Caglione. And then it gets a little juicy with guys like Bryce Harper as a utility guy, or just, they just had util. And then my 3 bench players ended up as Jorge Polanco, Augustin Ramirez, and Ernie Clement.
Well, and you have Shohei, right?
Shohei Ohtani. He counts as DH pitcher, right?
So he hits.
Yeah, so he gets a chance to hit as well. So, from a hitter standpoint, what's my report card?
I will give you. I'll give you a B plus. I'll give you a B plus. I think the outfield is a little sketchy.
I don't love it.
I think the outfield's a little sketchy. I think Hunter Goodman is a sneaky good pick at catcher. Vladdy's gonna have a great season. Shohei's obviously sick. Bryce Terang is good. Who was your third baseman again? Who'd you say?
Caminero.
Caminero. I like Caminero. I like
Well,
Caminero too.
it's
I don't expect his numbers to be as good because he's not playing in a minor league park, but I do like Caminero. Perdomo's okay. Yeah, so I'll give you know what? I'll bump you. I'll bump you up to an A minus because I really like your infield.
yes, let's go.
Yeah, I'll bump you up to an A
And
minus.
then my pitchers
Picking first overall is tough, man. Like it is tough. It's not an easy
and
gig.
like other
So
guys are just like my Q was being snagged, which just means everybody's either just as dumb as I am or I was able to trick them all. Um,
buddy, I had the first overall
yeah.
pick in an 18 team
Oof.
league. You know how much that sucks? I picked first and then 36th.
Yikes. Yeah,
I'll tell you about my team
that's
off the
tough.
air, but
That's
yeah.
tough.
All right, let's hear your pitchers.
Of course, you have Shohei. And the categories for pitchers are wins, holds, saves, Ks. I think that's it.
Innings?
Probably innings if you're going to round out to 5.
Okay. Okay.
That's a loose 5. We'll confirm innings. Doesn't
Okay.
matter. Either way.
Anyway,
Shohei
works for me.
Ohtani. Dylan Cease. Ranger Suarez. Cam Schlittler. Edwin Diaz. David Bednar. Tyler Rogers. One of those guys has to move so I can get somebody to get me some holds. Because I don't think Tyler Rogers is getting every Blue Jays hold.
He might.
He
might.
You know, he might, but I need some maybe a little bit of help there because I genuinely think Ranger Suarez can be flipped or dropped for someone to get me a few more holds. I do think he's gonna be pretty. Like I think Boston got a great pitcher there for this coming season, but either way,
yeah, we can disagree on that. But
I feel like we already have.
Is that your full pitching staff?
Yeah, like that's it. They had like no. It was very. It seemed like a very basic, very thrown together last minute by a bunch of hockey guys. To be honest, it's a bunch of like former and current guys who cover the Western Hockey League and a bunch of.
I'll tell you what, man. I kind of want to give you an A+ for that for the pitching staff. Your pitching staff's legit. Like that is an elite level pitching staff. I agree. I would probably try to flip one of those starters for an outfielder. Try to get some help on outfield. I wouldn't like fantasy baseball advice. I wouldn't worry too much about holds and saves. I think that stat is so like team dependent. I would never trade a good starter for a reliever in fantasy baseball ever. You have Edwin Diaz already, who is going to get a ton of saves. So David Bednar should get a decent amount of holds and saves. So yeah, I think you're okay there. I would probably look to flip one of your starters for an outfielder. Try to improve on like a Caglione or a Burleson.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say overall, I will give your overall team. I'm in a good mood, so I'll give you an A. I was gonna give you an A-, but I'll give you an A. I'll give you an A for that team. Picking first overall is tough, man. It's tough. It's tough to build a deep team, and you did a pretty good job.
I'll give you kudos. I would have taken even a B+. So I am honored. To take that A. Listen, we've been at this for an hour 10, and we've got more to do today. So let's send everybody off with, I guess, I have a good season. Let's remember, it's a long season. Anything can happen. And even though we have high hopes, this is more a call out and a reminder for me. Like I said, I sometimes grow a little impatient.
Do not overreact to opening day. I beg every single person listening to this, if Kevin Gausman gets shelled on opening day, the sky is not falling, I promise.
I'm gonna do it.
That's fair.
The first text is gonna come from me.
This guy sucks. Okamoto's gonna strike his first at bat.
Burn it to the ground. I'll never forget the year that I drafted Jose Barrios while we were all in J school, and then he got annihilated for that infinite inning. That was crazy. I'll never
That was not
forget.
good.
I'll never forget that. That whole season was awful. I chose Wilson Contreras over Adley Rutschman, and he hit 4 bombs on opening day, or something along those lines. Some
Nice.
right? Didn't he do something crazy like that?
No,
Where
it wasn't. It
he
wasn't
got
like
all,
that. He got off to a
something, yeah,
really good
like
start, though.
9
Yeah.
bombs in. Anyway, something dumb. It's time to go.
Yeah. So wait. So hold on. So we're gonna drop this
We're
one
gonna
tonight,
drop. We're
right?
dropping this right after here. See
Right
ya,
now.
Flick.
Yeah, and then season preview, overall MLB preview. That's gonna come out. Podcast is gonna have the full thing. That's gonna drop tomorrow. I assume probably early
Yeah,
tomorrow. Get it before that Giants Yankees game,
absolutely.
and then on YouTube we're going to have the divisions broken down into different segments,
I
so it'll
found
be
out
a little
I
bit more
can do
consumable.
reels. So we will actually be
Oh,
able to
amazing!
release everything at once, along with the reels for each team, um, all at one time, which is dope.
Nice,
So everything
cool.
will be business as usual on YouTube, and a little bit more traction on the YouTube. Now I'm learning how it works. I'm a one, we're a 2-man operation here, so we're baby stepping our way through this. But I think the reels are going to be super awesome, and yeah, we're going to do
Yep.
10-minute.
Follow us on Instagram. We are what's our handle? I don't even remember our handle. Let's find
Oh
it.
my God, Warning Track North.
Warning Track North. Well, because we have a different one for Twitter.
Twitter's
Twitter's what?
stupid.
It's like
WTN Pod. It
It's
had to
like
be WTN
yeah,
Pod.
WTF 2026
Listen,
was what that one
blame
is.
Elon, bro. I can't blame
Yeah,
Elon. In 30 days I can change it again. So maybe we'll do a contest. Folks,
nice.
March 27th. Blue Jays Athletics, Rogers Center, 7:07 p.m. Lazarbeam. You said you're going?
I will not be there on opening
Not
day. I'll be there
opening
the
day, the
next day
next
on
day.
the
That's
Saturday.
fine. That's base
Yep,
opening weekend. You're there. I'm excited. You get to watch Dylan Cease, your boy, on the mound.
I'm looking
That's
forward to it.
awesome. Kevin Gosman, third career opening day, first one in Toronto. We are fired up. This was our 10th, our decade episode of Warning Track North, and we will have full MLB previews and breakdowns following this episode and onward. So back to our regular scheduled programming as we go. But go Jays, go! I am the Stuntman. That is the Lazarbeam. This is Warning Track North, and we will see you on the flip side. Ciao for now.